here. First of all, because I think that Web3 is less, it's a lot about technology, but it's a lot about also self-awareness. And if we will start talking about Vara, gaming, and all the stuff, like, I think it's better to do it without a suit. So, first of all, I would like to ask you a question. How many of you actually have a wallet, a crypto wallet, doesn't matter which chain, or at least used once in a while? Okay, great. So you know that in order to make a transaction on top of the blockchain, you will need to sign this transaction with your private key. And when we're talking about gaming, and especially what's called the totally on-chain games, please raise your hands, the people that knows what on-chain games are. Okay, the difference between simple gaming and on-chain gaming means that everything what's happening in the game is actually recorded and passed on top of the blockchain. That means that each move that you are doing is actually a transaction that you are signing. Sometimes it's a complication, especially with blockchains like Ethereum or Polygon, because the computational power is really slow. And when we're talking about computational power, what that means, if somebody of you ever ask what gas you are paying for means, is actually the fee that you are paying for people to compute or make the computation of what's going on the transaction that you are doing. So practically all the blockchains, and 99% of the blockchains, are actually atomic. What means that? That means that all the logic that you want to execute on top of the blockchain should be done in one block, and either it's done or it's reverted back. This allows you to make just maximum smart contracts. That's why it was called like that. It's a small contract that has yes or no as a solution. So that actually slows a lot all the gamified stuff. We have a current limitations, the scalability. You cannot scale a lot because the computation is small. Then what else you have? You're having latency speed. You're having storage for issues because you cannot store a lot on the blockchain on the typical logic that is done. So, and obviously once we get the computational power, if somebody remembers the CryptoKitties in early like 2017, around that time, it was the first idea of an NFT that actually wanted to be muted. And when they put that contract on top of Ethereum, all the network went down. It was too complicated for that type of computation in that moment. So Vara Network, what we're doing, we're bringing new technology into Web3 space. That's called the actor model. One of the things that it allows to do is allows to treat everybody inside the blockchain as a simple program. And doesn't matter if you're a user outside of the blockchain or you're a program inside of the blockchain. They communicate between themselves through messages. And in this way, what's happening is actually you can build a more complex solutions on top of the blockchain. You can start building programs that could do step-by-step execution without actually having the problem of being executed in one block. So the use cases, obviously, metaverses, GameFi, DeFi, modern dynamics, DAOs. We are a big, broad blockchain. But the thing is, if we try to focus on DeFi space, obviously, everybody knows that DeFi is Ethereum. Like, it's really difficult to disrupt this market because there is a lot of TVL actually put in there. And plus, you have a lot of side chains of forks of Ethereum that, like, just go the code, put it there, and goes once more. But what we can do, thanks to our technology, is put delayed order transactions. We can build a totally on-chain order book and put orders that will say, okay, if Ethereum or if any coin comes to specific price, just buy it or sell it. That actually mimics practically the infrastructure that we have on the centralized exchange, but put it into decentralized ones. This is the gap that is lacking there. But we focus more on gaming. Why? Because the GameFi stuff is something that you don't need to be fighting for than other liquidity on other chains. The gaming itself brings its own liquidity into the market. And what you do is help them to manage that liquidity, to leverage them and bring it into the higher space. So how we do that? We're doing that thanks to the 3 pillars that we're having in technology. It's actually WebAssembly, virtual machine. It's not invented by us, it's invented by huge companies, Apple, Mozilla, Oracle. They do it for web browsers. But then one of the persons that's called Gavin Wood, the founder of Polkadot, and previously the CTO of Ethereum, the person that actually built a Ethereum virtual machine, understood that this virtual machine is even better to work inside the blockchain. And it put it into the stream and actually all into the runtime. That means that you can update the blockchains without having fork there. Then the actor model that allows us to have asynchronous messaging, which means we don't need to wait for something to finalize in order to start doing the next step of the program. It's like our common world actually works. Because if we talk about asynchronous stuff, that's, for example, a simple example. If you want to upload a video into YouTube, if we do it in a synchronous way, you have to put the name of the video, the description of the video, put the button of upload the video. Until the upload of the video is not done, you will not be able to do anything else. Neither change the name or send the link to some of your friends to check what's happening there. In the asynchronous way, once you actually put upload, then you can go and change the name, you can change the description, you can send the file to your friend. You don't need to wait till that sequence is finalized, till it doesn't implicate the next step. So that makes it much easier and for working and actually for coding. And thanks to the persistent memory, we also took out from the developers the whole idea and the worry of how you manage the memory. Because one of the biggest things in the blockchain space is actually managing the memory. We did it in a way that actually the only thing they have to do is to manage the message that you send to the program and the message that you receive from them. It's practically plain coding as you would do that in Web 2. So that's actually why we do it. Smooth development and support. You can do it on Rust, on WebAssembly, TypeScript, C++, languages compilable to WebAssembly. There are more than 16. We have 2 main compilators for Rust and AssemblyScript for now. So you don't need to go really deep even in Rust if you want. You have to have the basic knowledge of that. And then after that, we added some additional features. We understood that if we want to have a mass adoption into the space, what's the biggest threshold for that? First of all, obviously, like if we talk about ecosystem of gaming, for example, is that in order somebody to play a game, they need to do what? Download a wallet, go somewhere to buy some tokens. Maybe it's in a centralized exchange, maybe it's the P2P thing. Then put that tokens into the wallet. If it's a centralized exchange, pass the QIC, all this stuff, and then just start playing the game. So a lot of people in this funnel will actually get lost. And this is a problem. So what we're doing, we're adding something that's called vouchers. And this is one of the steps that we're doing thanks to the delay gas transactions that our protocol also has thanks to the actor model thing. And what you have to do till now, because we're also working on that, you will have to download the wallet, connect your wallet to the application, and then just start playing. The cost of the gas would be actually costed by the application so that you can make the first games, you can face the first try, and if you like it, then actually you can start buying the token to keep on playing this game. Something like a lot of Web 2 games are doing. You give you the option to play for free till a specific level, and then you have to pay or buy something or move forward in this type of monetization depending on how you want to build the monetization on top of your application. You can actually all the time be paying the gas fees for your users if you want to monetize it in a different way. So this is one of the thresholds that we're removing out. Then second, thanks to the account abstraction, we're working a lot on the wallets that you will not need to actually download it, but just connecting through an application, a simple way as, for example, Wallet Connect also can do, then email login, you connect into the application, and then keep on moving in this direction. Native ZK. It's another interesting thing that we're having. We need to understand for a lot of gaming stuff, the blockchain is an open book. So if you put a code into the program, into the gaming, for example, thing, let's put in a simple thing like a card game or a domino. It actually goes into more deeper solutions like traveling cards or things like that. But if we go into like a domino, if you play a game and all this code is just put in a plain blockchain, then it's quite easy to know which card you can have in the next. And you can play, if algorithms are playing, it's easy to cheat actually and understand what's happening there. Even if you just go and emulate on the testnet the same program, you can run it several times and you can understand what's happening. Thanks to the ZK, it allows you actually to have a real randomize without prediction. So even if you know that the result is correct, you really don't know exactly what other cards have the place. Oracle solutions. That's another important thing if you want to link the blockchain into the real world, because you need to have oracles that will allow you to actually say what's happening inside, and you have to trust them. There are several decentralized oracles with whom we're working now to give this type of solutions for anyone who wants to build on top of our network. Gas reservation and delay messages, that's what we already talked about. That means that you can actually put some gas in separate thing. That also helps you to run programs in natively on top of the blockchain that are dormant. You can put a program that say, okay, after 6 months, I want you to wake up and do something for me. Or after a week, or after 2 blocks. That gives you the freedom of the architecture on top. Factories, that actually allows you to build, if we're going about gaming stuff, to build a lot of game assets that could actually be building one by another. For example, the NFTs. If we talk about the basic NFT or basic picture, what we do as a next step on our NFTs or our programs is actually a program that is mutable. Meaning, you can send another NFT to that NFT, and it will change the size, the mood, whatever. It could mix together. That's actually done in a lot of protocols. Also, it's done in Ethereum, but they use a backend to do that, but it's done. What we did is we went another step forward. First of all, we added immutable metadata, which means that actually an NFT becomes like a logbook of what's happening in the network if you want to do it. When we were launching an incentivized testnet, what we did is one of the activities is you mint your NFT, and after that we did 3 different games, totally on-chain games, meaning that each time you do a transaction. One was tic-tac-toe, the other one was just playing card game, racing, and the other one I think was we have to swap some stuff, and there was another one, really, I forget which one was. So the thing is that once you mint the NFT, that's first of all the permission to do the next quests. Second, each time that you do a result on the game, it's actually recorded on your metadata, and you can see what you were doing at which moment and which was your result. That's really important if we're talking about totally on-chain games, and the NFT actually stored on top of the blockchain, meaning you don't have a backend whom you need to trust. That gives you the option of trusting the NFT, and the information that's on that NFT is really trustful. And that's really important for a lot of games, because if you want to do on-chain games, or even just simple games but mixing that NFT into different ones, you want to store the NFT on top of the blockchain. And then you want to record what's happening there, because that's every moment, every single block, it's available, the trusses of the information. And so what we're doing now is we're building something like a blockchain as a service also, finalizing and packaging all these streams for the gamify and gaming community so that you can easily take and put it into your game experience, like for example using the Unity SDK if you want, and then just have all the beauty of practically putting the Web 2 interface into Web 3. So imagine you are playing a game, doesn't matter which game it is. For example, I was in China in September talking with one of the funds that actually invests in us called ABB, and one of the guys told me a story. He was playing a lot World of Warcraft, sorry. And when they were blocked, the servers in China, so actually he lost all the assets and all the money he put into this game. It was around 100K, he said, in total while he was playing. And it just gets freezed. He cannot take it out, he cannot use it, this money is there, and who knows when it would get unfreezed, if ever. So if you're using a blockchain solution for playing that type of games, and your assets are actually stored on top of the blockchain, that doesn't matter if the servers get freezed, the assets are still yours. You can move them, you can sell them. You can actually use them to be part of other parts of the ecosystem that is not even connected to the game with which you are playing. For a metaverse, for example, you can go and play with that person. You can use it as an avatar. You can sell part of the things and achievements that you are doing. In order to do that, it should be fast and easy, because you as a gamer on the interface, you don't care if it's done on blockchain or not. What you need is the security, the fastness, and the smoothness, how you actually get used to do it in Web 2. But with the security and the ownership that Web 3 gives to you. So what we are trying to develop now, a lot of features are developed, we're just packing that there for the developers, so that each developer that's coming into the Web3 space and wants to make his monetization, wants to make all his applications live, he has all this tooling to make it faster adoption to the people. Just come and build your application, give the person to come and try it, pay for first of part of the gas for them, they get engaged, and then you can already do the monetizations that you think. We'll also have on-ramp solutions so that the person can pay with a card inside the wallet, buy Vara, and go forward. I think this is like main part of the presentation that I want to give it to you. If you have any questions, I would be really happy to answer. Thanks a lot. Any questions? Either I explained really so good, or you didn't understand anything. Okay, if there is no questions, I also have a small present for you. We do specific T-shirts for each part of the event. This one is unique. We never actually do it twice. So we have several ones outside. If you want, after the speech, I will go out. I can give you some of this present.